Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm just your average race fan, and in this video, we're going to be scaling our racing down. We're going to be talking RC cars with the folks here at G&S Raceway outside of Fulton, Missouri. Hey everybody, we're here with Anna from G&S Raceway, and we're going to talk to her a little bit about her and her husband's shop, what they do here, how you can find them, and just kind of have a good conversation. So, Anna, with G&S Raceway, it's kind of intriguing. Obviously, your name's Anna, and G&S is not you or your husband's initials. Where did that name kind of come from? How did you guys come up with that name?
Our two boys are Gunnar and Silas.
Awesome.
Yes, so our two boys, we struggle sometimes to find things to do fun as a family, and we thought that kind of just in the essence of creating a safe space that's also inclusive because they're both autistic as well. We thought GNS just kind of put it all together.
That's pretty cool. So it's always pretty cool when racing is a family thing, no matter if it's a business like this or out there on the track or any of it. It's always cool to get the little ones involved. So that's pretty cool. So obviously with racing, RC cars, you guys must be into the motorsports realm in some instance. So is there anything in particular that attracted you all to the motorsports area? Um, did you guys grow up with it, or is it something you saw and you just?
So my husband, when he was growing up, he also has a developmentally delayed uncle in West Virginia, and so he's always told stories about all the things that his uncle and he used to do when he was a kid, and one of their things was RC cars.
Oh, cool.
So it's kind of just been a passion, and also that connection that my uncle had, or my husband had with his uncle growing up, that has just kind of always kept RC cars close to his heart.
Well, that's pretty cool, and that kind of was going to answer my next question about what got you into RC cars and specifically. And there's so there's such a variety of RC cars that I mean you can kind of have your choosing from the indoor uh, circle track cars to the outdoor, that run on the dirt courses with the jumps and stuff like that, to RC truck and tractor pulls. I mean, it's literally limitless. So within that realm, do you guys have a favorite RC car to run or to sell?
So I am not particularly skilled at running RC cars. I don't have a lot of practice. I've always been more of an intellect than a doer of physical things. And so I don't do a lot of the racing. I announce the races whenever we have those, and I do more of the business side of the things. And my husband's favorites are definitely the Minizis, Kyosho Minizis. Um, our focus is primarily on micro and mini cars. So we don't carry anything and we don't race anything bigger than 1/16 or 1/18 scale. There are some other tracks in Missouri where they do like 1/10 scale racing. Those cars are a lot bigger. They take up more space. They're not as cost effective. And so it's just kind of nice that we have a smaller selection to choose from and offer our customers. Um, so that's just really where we focus our attention.
That's pretty cool because even though these come in a small package, it should not let that fool you because these things are fast. And they're kind of finicky to control because the reaction time of these small cars is just, it's like that. So as you were talking about, how you all got into RC cars, your husband having an uncle that was developmentally kind of behind, and how this, everybody has their something that helps them along, and that bond. And within the RC community, you have a lot of different backgrounds, different people, different likes, and stuff like that. What are some of the things that you like about the RC community?
So, a little bit about me is that I have worked in the field of mental health for the last 20 years. Um, and so, kind of along with the inclusivity aspect of it, making sure everybody kind of has a place, we make sure we have wheelchair ramps, we are an accessible facility, and one of the things that you just mentioned is everybody kind of has their thing and everybody's different. We have racers ranging from 6 years old up to 77 years old. Those are our regular racers that come in. So anybody of any age can come, have a level playing field. Another thing, kind of having my heart and head in the field of mental health, is that this gives people something to focus on when they need to get away from everything else. And so we have had war veterans come and talk to us and say, "This is great. I've had nightmares and I have a hard time doing things, but when I get my RC car out, I can focus on what I'm doing and really take a break from the real world and everything else that's going on. It helps calm my nerves, it helps calm my anxiety, helps bring my focus to where it needs to be. So it really kind of helps ground people as well." We have a very close friend who is in a wheelchair and he's in supported living. So he has 24-hour staff. And he comes out about once a week. One of the people in leadership from the agency that supports him actually brought him out last night. And he saw our facility and got very excited because he said they have several other supported individuals that would love to come out and watch and participate in what we have going. And he felt very welcomed, and he saw that, we treated our friend just like we would anybody else, despite his physical disabilities that he has. So,
That is awesome because, like you just said, this community kind of brings in everybody.
mm-hmm.
If you can find a car that you like, which there's many to choose from, and a place to race it, I mean, like you said, you can kind of escape, and it's a really welcoming. Like you said, it's really welcoming because you can do it. It doesn't take a lot of physical stuff, like you said. That's pretty cool. Um, so with owning the shop, obviously it's not you know peaches and roses all the time. I mean, there's got to be some headaches and stuff. So what are some of your favorite parts about owning the shop, and what are some of your frustrations about owning the shop?
Our favorite is definitely the people. I mean, we can bank on getting to see some of the people that we've come close to over these last couple of years in the RC community, and we can count on them coming out once or twice a week, sometimes every day, and just spending time together. We eat a lot of food together. So we always have food provided on Wednesdays and Saturdays for race days. A lot of times on Thursdays or Sundays, we'll actually, my mother-in-law will bring a meal out. Last night we had open faced roast beef sandwiches and mashed potatoes and gravy, and the people who were here, we were able to invite them to have a meal with us, and it's just really nice getting to spend time with the people. Like that's really what drives us to do this. It's not to make bukus of money. I mean, that'd be great, but
Yeah,
it's really is about the people and the community, and just welcoming everybody.
that's cool. Are there any headaches?
um, I would say shipping.
I can definitely see that.
Shipping on the parts and the vehicles is not easily predictable. It's like not
Yeah,
easy to predict when packages will arrive. So especially if somebody has, a specific part, specific brand they're looking for. We're still small, so we aren't a dealer of every part in the world. We're not hooked up with every single distributor there is. So sometimes it takes a little bit of going down some rabbit holes to find parts that work. And then once we do, we have to rely on our carriers to get those parts from where they are to us. And sometimes it's timely and sometimes it's not.
Yeah. I have heard that shipping can be a pain. Obviously, it's one of, like you said, it's one of those unpredictable variables and everything. So, speaking of the shop and shipping and parts, tell us a little bit about what we can find here at the shop.
Sure. So these are some of the different vehicles that we have. We carry rock crawlers, and these are 1/18th and 1/24th scale rock crawlers. So they are small. Um, we are a distributor, or sorry, a dealer with 1RC, and they carry 1/18th scale vehicles. So you have your dirt street stock, your asphalt modified, your midget. They have a sprint. They have all different kinds of vehicles, and they're really true to scale. I mean, they work really well, and anybody of any age, especially young people, it's really good because they can learn how to do things that doesn't involve a lot of technology. Learn to work with their hands, and what they learn working on these cars can be applied later in life to their own vehicles, of life size. And then we have these Kyosho Mini Zs. So they do carry the crawler up there, but then these cars are the ones that we race. And there's all different styles. There's all-wheel drive cars that have plastic tires and you can drift with them, which is
Wow.
really cool. We have a drift class. There is a regular, just, any kind of four, like four-door or two-door car, and they're rear-wheel drive. There's these that are called the My First Mini Z, and they run about $50, $55. So it's more of a toy, but it's a good start to teach kids, with the steering and utilizing the remote without going so fast they're going to break things.
Yeah.
And then there's this style of Mini Z, which is an LM, so it has a wider wheelbase, and they just look more like race cars.
Yeah.
So they're pretty cool. We carry a couple of other different brands of things from our different distributors, but those are our main vehicles that we carry. And again, they're all small, 1/16th, 1/18th, and smaller.
That's pretty cool. I know that, in the showroom, there's quite a variety
Mm-hmm.
of cars. So, that's pretty cool. I kind of feel like if you were to come here, and obviously if you didn't know what you were looking for, you would find great help and a great selection. So that's pretty cool. So with the shop and the RC community, obviously this is a warm space, and I think this question's already answered. I was going to ask, how do you think you want the shop to help the community? And I think by just having a space where they can come in, and we talked about it a little bit earlier. So I think that's pretty cool. And I think once more people find this little hidden gem out here you might have a pretty stacked crowd. Okay, so once again, you're talking about, you guys have weekly races. Those, just tell us a little bit more about that.
So on Wednesdays and Saturdays, we have races, and what we race are the Mini Zs and the 1RC cars. So depending on how many classes we have, really is dependent on our crowd. Our racers are able to race multiple vehicles, and so it's very rare that we have someone come in and just bring one car with them. Many of them bring multiples. So I think our highest crowd that we've had so far was 25 racers and 50 cars, 50 entries. Um, our races are definitely longer during the winter months, and then before the outdoor tracks start opening and the weather starts getting nicer. And on Wednesdays, our doors open at 2 p.m. And then drivers must come and check in by 6:30 p.m. So we want people to have time to get off work, get their things together, come over. As I mentioned, we have food. We have a hot dog roller, so we always have hot dogs.
Oh,
And
awesome.
sometimes we'll typically have rotel. Sometimes we'll have hamburgers. On Saturdays, we've done a taco bar. We've done barbecue. So It's really nice, especially during the week, I think, and Saturdays for people to have food on site. You don't have to go anywhere. We offer drinks and chips and things like that too. So
That's
that's
cool.
neat. So drivers check in by 6:30 on Wednesdays, and then races start at 7. We want to be respectful of everybody's time, and so we do make sure that things stay on track and moving. When drivers check in, it is $15 on Wednesday or Saturday for your first entry, and for every initial or every additional entry after that, it's $5 per car. So if you have 3 cars, you're going to be paying $25 to race for that race day. Saturdays we open at noon, and driver check-in is at 2:30, and races start at 3. So that half hour, it's really important that people get here, or you can send me a message through our Facebook page and let me know you're coming. So that way we know which classes to race. Because we do sometimes, depending on who brings what vehicle, we combine classes. Sometimes we have enough for a novice class. Our goal is to bring in enough new people to have a novice class every time so people can, have a fair shot at kind of just learning the track, getting used to driving with other racers,
Yeah.
and learning how to avoid unsavory situations on the track, when to slow down, when to speed up, and not be so flustered by everybody just lapping them. Our other days, we're open Wednesday through Sunday. We're closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. um, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're open 2 to 8 p.m. Saturdays, we're open from noon to 8, and then Sundays from 2 to 6.
Okay, cool. Now, with that being said, we're talking about the races and some of the stuff like that. You guys have two different tracks here.
We do.
So tell me a little bit about those.
So we have a carpet oval track. Um, on that, we race the 1RC cars, so the little bit bigger ones. We do have plans in the future to also race Micro Bs, which is a car made by Low Seat. They're also smaller cars, and they can be converted to oval cars.
Oh,
So
cool.
it's pretty neat. And then we also have a large RCP foam tile track, and that's an on-road course right now, and that's where we race the mini Z's.
So those can get pretty fast
Yes.
on both the courses actually. And now I stopped by a little bit beforehand and got to see some racing going on, and I noticed that it's not just I don't want to say it's not just a rinky-dink thing. You guys got some pretty cool stuff going on with electronic timing and everything else. So that's pretty interesting. There
Yes,
was a
I brought one of these transponders to show you. So it's a teeny tiny box. I mean, it's less than a 1 inch by 1 inch. And what these do is they hook into your car's electronics, and you stick it inside the car. And we have a timing bridge. So when the car goes under with this little transponder, it counts the laps. So you get your seconds, your number of laps, and all that there with your car.
Yeah, that's pretty
It is
cool.
pretty neat.
So I mean, it's not just a backyard
No.
RC thing, and because I noticed it was you had some stuff on the monitor as well, and so that's pretty interesting. That you don't really think about that with RC cars, but when they're going around so fast and there's so many of them, you kind of, as a spectator, you're kind of like, how are they even keeping track? And obviously you look up and it's like, oh, well, I guess that's how. I guess that's how.
And it's pretty neat. I mean, I've just been learning along the way. We've only been here for 6 months in this space, and I've definitely learned and continue to learn about the vehicles, about parts and how to help people, but also about running the races. I'm still becoming more and more familiar with the software that we use. All of our timing is online. And so, even sometimes sitting from home, if we have a racer who really wants to come and maybe they're at home sick or the weather's bad where they live or something, they can get online and follow along with the races as they're happening.
Oh, that's cool.
Racers can go back and look at their practice times, because even if it's not an organized race, you can still see your practice times
Oh, that's neat.
broadcasted. It is really neat, the software that we use.
And I'm sure that, because if somebody's obviously, you have people that do things just for a little bit of fun. And then some people get into really serious,
Mm-hmm.
and so for the more serious ones, I guess it would be kind of helpful to look at your times from last week, have them, I'm sure they write them down in a notebook
Yes.
and be like, okay, well, this week I've gained, a little bit here, gained a little bit here. I'm doing this differently. So I need to keep doing that, or I need to change that, or, well, that didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And all of the results of the races, they get posted on the site with the results, and we also have a Facebook page that we post on nearly daily, and so we always take podium pictures for our first, second, and third winners of each main race, and then it's bragging rights. There's no money involved or anything. Everybody gets a little G&S sticker with first, second, or third on it, and of course the top qualifier from the qualifying rounds, but it's just a lot of fun. But you're absolutely right. There are some people who really take it seriously. They're going home every week tweaking things on their cars with their gearing, with their shocks, with their diff grease, with all these things. Then you have people that just take it out of the box, hit the road, and they're just happy to be here and have fun.
yeah, nothing wrong with either one. So we mentioned earlier that you got two tracks, and there's maybe a third one in the works. So go ahead and tell us about that.
So we have a newly created outdoor crawling track. So these rock crawlers that we have up here, the Jeeps, the trucks, the Scouts, there's an outdoor course that we will eventually be having competitions on. We kind of had our christening of the course just a week ago. We had a barbecue. We had a lot of people out. Some people came that have never been here before, so that was really neat. They just heard we had a crawler course. We are already looking at expanding that. Right now, it's a pretty good size. It's like a 10 by 20 space. We also do have a crawler course that we're working on indoors as well. It's not as far along because the weather's been nice. We've been focused out there.
Yeah, the weather's been kind of finicky this year, so well, that's pretty cool. Age, tell us how people can find you all online and on Facebook, and I'll also post that stuff on the screen for you all to see. But just tell them a little bit about how they can find you and what the information is.
Yeah, definitely. Our most up to date postings and information is going to be found on our Facebook page. So you can find us at G&S Raceway, Fulton, Missouri. And then our actual website that has all the same information, just not as many social posts, is gsraceway.com. And then we also have our inventory online as well. So there's actually a link on our gsraceway.com site where you can shop our inventory. Um, so it's pretty accessible. I mean, we want again to include everybody, to invite everybody, and just know that we're here and we're available for RC things.
That's cool. G&S Raceway is located just west of Fulton, Missouri. You can look them up on Facebook. You can look them up online. Uh, And one more thing before we wrap up. I know that you guys do a little bit more than racing. You offer some services. So, kind of tell us what kind of service can customers get if they might have a problem with their RC car?
Sure. So we've actually received a significant response of individuals in learning that we're new, we're here in Callaway County, where maybe sometime in the past they have bought an RC car and then it broke and they have no idea what's wrong with it, no idea how to fix it, no idea what parts. And we just tell people bring it in. We'll take a look. I mean, the worst that would happen is we'd say I have no clue. My husband Derek has a lot of experience working on RC cars. We've both worked at another hobby store over the last couple of years and kind of learned the ropes. But Derek is very good at identifying issues with RC cars. I know that he does not work on nitro or gas vehicles. We really stick to the electronic ones. As I said, kind of one of our barriers is that we are still very new, and so we're not in with all dealers and distributors yet. But we can always order parts. We are always more than happy to order parts, even if we have to pay full price for them and don't make any money to help someone fix their vehicle, so that one, they can get back to having fun, because a lot of times it's with kids or grandkids or just someone needing something to do. And we've already talked about how important it is sometimes for people to have a hobby like this. And then Derek can identify problems, we can order parts, and he can fix it or even show people how to fix it. We're really big into showing people how to do it themselves. So that way, you know, when they have problems, they don't have to count on us. They don't have to rely on us. But that is something that we offer.
Well, that's pretty cool. Anna, thanks for having me out here and kind of letting me pick your brain and bringing some insights to the shop, to the channel, and some of the people out there. Remember, everybody, G&S Raceway, you can find them on Facebook. You can find them on the web. You can find them just west of Fulton. You can find them on Google. So go ahead and look them up for a good time. I'll post the hours and stuff again. And again, Anna, thanks to you and your husband for having me out here.
We enjoy it. Thank you so much for coming to see us.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining me on this visit to G&S Raceway. If you are interested in the RC world and you want to get into it, remember that you can follow them on Facebook on G&S Raceway. They have their own page, or just check them out online at gnsraceway.com. They're located just west of Fulton on Highway F. So if you get a chance, you're out that way, go check them out. See what they got in the showroom, or you can just look at the races going on that night. They race on Saturday and Wednesday. So if you're interested, check them out, see what they have to offer. You may walk away with your own RC car. Anyway, thanks for joining me, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Share this video with others so they can get out there and check them out. And remember, I always remind you to stay safe, stay courteous. It's the experience that matters, so make sure you have a good one. Thanks, everybody.